to the series that I'm doing on scooters under the heading "My Scooter Won't Start." Today I'm going to take you through one of the big expense saving items, which is the powertrain, where we're going to change the drive belt, change the variator rollers, and in this instance put on a new clutch. Basically, I was going to take you outside and show you when I took these off. That's the transmission casing which has been removed. There's your kickstart spline, and the kickstart's been removed, although that's not necessary. Down here, just down here, if you can see it hopefully, this is the clutch as it's come off the vehicle or the bike, and this is the variator as it's come off the bike. There's the old drive belt which has had it, and that's as it's come off the bike. Over here we have a brand new clutch and a brand new belt and brand new rollers. So, basically here we've removed the powertrain drive housing for the transmission, and we'll start off with the variator. Now here's the variator. I'm trying to improve my shot so you can actually see. That comes off with one nut, as does the clutch. The only problem you have, you need one of these, which is an impact driver, to undo the nuts. If you haven't got one, it's extremely difficult to stop the variator or the clutch turning to undo it in a conventional means. My advice to anyone going to do this would be to actually, even if you have to either borrow one or hire one from the hire shop for an hour. If I was going to hire one from the hire shop for an hour, I'd undo all this by hand, have everything off. I would have ordered a new clutch, new rollers or new variator if it was necessary, and I would have it all ready to go. Come undo it, put the new ones on and put the belt on. Right, we'll start with the variator here. As you can see, it's a bit rusty, so it needs cleaning up, but this is the functional bit here. Now under here you have these rollers, and as the engine spins, these rollers roll out with centrifugal force to push the plate against the drive belt at the side, here and here, and that gives you drive because it tensions the belt, holds it tight. In this instance the variator is okay, but these rollers aren't, so they need replacing. So I'll do that while we're here. It's extremely simple. They're the nuts and the bolts out of the housing which I've taken off. Now over here, for only £5 we have new rollers for the variator. So without any more ado, we'll put these in. You can see they slot in like this. I hope you can see that. Now on this one, this was all rusty inside and I've cleaned that. Right, there you can see the new rollers. These are 4-gram rollers which supposedly give you more top end speed, because this is off an 18-month-old John Way 125 50cc scooter. So we had a choice between more acceleration or slightly more top end, so we chose, as opposed to 3 or 2 grams, we chose the 4 grams. Now this just sits on these lugs here and pushes down like that. One thing to remember though is when you push this back on the bike, push this on first, and then when it's on the shaft right at the back, you can then push this bit in. if you try and push it in with this on, it pushes the plate out and dislodges the rollers, and you'll find you haven't got enough room to push this component right back. When that's done, I haven't cleaned this for a purpose of my own, because the slight rust on there actually gives more adhesion to the belt, whereas if it was completely shiny like this, which we could shine it, if it was completely shiny like this surface, there's more opportunity for the belt to slip. But that's my own personal theory. So that's the variator done. Okay, so that pushes on, that goes on your shaft, bang, like that. And this goes back on top like that, and it's splined, so you'll see where it pushes on. This is also splined, I don't know if you can see the little splines in there, and that's got to be able to push on, and there should be more than enough room for you to get this nut back on if you've done it properly. If one of the rollers is slipped out, you'll find that you can't get that on properly, so you'll have to take it off and do it again. Here's the clutch mechanism. Now this clutch has been found to be faulty. You can see it's rusty inside on these surfaces and things like that, so later on in another program I'll service this clutch by cleaning all that sort of thing, undoing this big nut, taking the spring out, and inside there are bearings, little things in there you can just about see, which all need servicing. But in essence, when this is on the bike and you want to get your belt back on, you just pull it like that with your fingers. If it's working well, it'll be a bit easier, and the belt slips in around the back here, slips in like that. But in order to get the belt on, you've got to slip it right in at the back. Okay, I normally open these, put the belt on, and I just put a cable tie around there to hold that right in the drum while I bolt this back on, and then with the drive drum there, bolt that back on. Once again, this is splined, and then the nut goes on. Then that makes it easier, because what you do here, the nut falls on the floor, on this section here when you're putting the belt on, this will be the bit on the shaft. Okay, now because all the, as you can see, because I've put it down, all the rollers have come out. But when you actually put this back on properly, and it's on the shaft, put this back on, you can see that goes right down. Now that allows this part of the variator to go right back against the engine case of the crankshaft. Then this pokes out here, and this is where your belt goes on there. So as long as you've got enough room to get your belt over this, like this, okay, as long as it's over there, and you can get the other side of the variator back on top and screw it on, you're fine. And once you've got the belt on both of these, you just gently turn it over by hand, forwards and backwards a couple of times to make sure it's free. So that's the variator done. Once I put it down again, I'll put it up this way this time so it doesn't fall apart. Okay, that's dealt with the variator. Out of interest, when I took this component off, that was also had signs of rust and water ingress, so I've cleaned it all, and I personally put on a tiny bit of grease to allow that to move more freely. So that's that. This is unfortunately redundant at the time because it needs service. The reason I haven't serviced it at this point is because this new item, the clutch over here, was ordered off the internet, brand new, perfectly ready to go, and that was only £20. Now the spring inside and the bearings, new shoes to go on here, these are the drive shoes which give you a drive against this drum. I haven't priced them yet, but I would imagine they're going to cost me more than £20. So it made sense just to buy this to replace this. So basically the bike's back on the road and you've saved a fortune. Here's the new drive belt. What's important, you can see these numbers. This one's 729 17.7 by 30. That tells you the length, the width and the depth and pitch of the teeth. This one's, as you can see, Chinese, perfectly serviceable. This was £10, this was £20, and the Variator rollers were £5. Now if you put your bike in the bike shop to get that done, it would cost you a lot more. So what we're trying to do here is save you having to spend money unnecessarily. So we've now got it. The only difficult point is that you need an impact driver to get this off. If you're going to a hire shop to hire one, just undo the 10 or 12 nuts from there, get this off, okay, have everything ready. If you're going to renew this, have ordered one, you've ordered your Variator rolls, because normally the Variator doesn't break. So you can hire it for an hour, bang bang, put your new belt, clutch and put your Variator with the new rollers back on, and it will save you a lot of money. Now later on in the series I'm going to rebuild this for you by undoing the nut, just so you know how to do it in case you want to. But the whole purpose of this is to get young people like yourselves enjoying using their scooters and 50cc motorbikes, etc., and having fun. In my last video, this is the third one I've done, I used a new microphone, but as I know nothing about filming, sound or YouTube, the sound didn't come out very well. So if you although it's very informative, if you're going to look at that, unfortunately you're going to have to turn up the sound. Basically, when I put this back on the scooter, I'll just use a tiny lever to separate that, and I'll push the old belt in the front or put the new belt round the back with a cable tie. That makes the job so much easier. Then you just bolt the things back on, make sure it's free. You can, it's best not to. I was going to say you could if you wanted to start the scooter, but of course when you take this off, it leaves the end of the starter motor out of a housing. So when this housing goes back on, you've got to ensure that it goes over in the correct place and the tiny little lug on the starter motor goes in the correct hole, which I'll show you here. Here's the starter motor hole, and there's a tiny bearing in there. I just put a tiny bit of grease, but I've been advised that it's not necessary. This is all your kickstart mechanism, where when you press this, this goes up and down, but that's well greased and ready for use. Also, it's imperative, if your belt has broken for some reason, you'll find this absolutely covered in black rubber and gunk, and it's awful. You must clean it as clean as you can. This isn't perfect, but I've spent some time. I could spend hours doing it more and more, as you can see, but it's more than serviceable, and the guy wants his scooter back to use it. So I'll clean all that up a bit more. And there are the Variator rollers all over the thing. There's the bolts, and basically that is the end of that. Just one other thing I want to mention, which cropped up out of the blue today. These are valves that go in your rims for your tubeless tyres. I don't know if it's a faulty batch or whatever, but a number of people recently have been having these pop out, because you have to put them through the rim with the tyre off or pushed to one side and pull them through, and this bulbous bit and this bit, they're meant to sit together, but for some reason recently 2 or 3 scooters in the area, they've come out. So as a matter of course, when we're dealing with a scooter, we're renewing them now. This is my third video, and I hope the sound's better. I hope you can see all the components. I'm going to show you again just to make sure. The new drive belt, that's the drive belt with all the numbers on it. variator that's no longer a mystery, cleaned, new rollers ready to put back on. The pin for the variator when that's on, that your drive belt sits to, and the outside housing. These teeth here are what the starter motor functions on when you press your bike to start with the electric start, and in a different way the kick start engages those gears. That's just the new clutch drum. Got a tiny bit of grease on there which comes from where it's manufactured. As you can see, the splines on there must fit your bike, but in general terms, if you give the supplier the engine number, the type, make, model, these components are extremely cheap. This is all ready, brand new shoes, never used. Same thing, it pulls back like this to put your belt on and you're ready to go, and then the nut just goes back on. Hopefully some of you at least will find these videos helpful, and the more you do on your bike, as I've said before, the more you begin to sort of love it and you're more than happy to work on it. It need not be a chore. It's something you can enjoy. In the motorcycle shop they charge sort of £200 or £300 to do this sort of work. Even an unskilled mechanic with an impact driver most certainly I would have thought would change all those components over within an hour, and would have another 3,000–4,000 miles or 6,000–7,000 kilometres without having to worry about that side again. Another thing I will cover in a later video, at the back of this casing behind the clutch to the rear you'll find an oil level plug and an oil filler plug. Some of them you just have to fill till the oil comes out the level plug, some of them you fill up and it's got a separate level plug. But with everything it's worth checking. The same if you've got a 4-stroke machine, every 3,000 or 4,000 miles change the oil, and if it's fitted with an oil filter, change the filter. This way your bike will go on virtually forever unless something drastic happens out of the blue. But I've enjoyed making another video for you. Hope you like it. I'm now going to use my iPad hopefully to stop videoing right now. If you do like the videos, please tick like and subscribe, because this will encourage me to go on making more videos for you. And by the end of the whole series, if I get it all done, you'll have learned how to rebuild clutches, transmissions, engines, brakes. We've covered most of the starting problems. We've covered one of the series carburetors. I'll be doing another series on that carburetor for a different type, and you will get hours and hours of fun out of your bike. And that's what it's all about, having fun with safety without too much expense. Thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you soon. Hopefully this is going to turn it off.